Hello everyone! Did you know during the anniversaries of Final Fantasy XIV, they've had the tradition of releasing short stories? In this 5-part series, I'm gonna read to you Tales from the Calamity. These are the short stories released on the first anniversary of Final Fantasy XIV. All of these stories happen before the start of the game, focusing on the events around the Calamity and shortly thereafter. Today's story is Tales from the Calamity, where victory and glory leads. We are lost, thought Merlwyb Blúfusvin. Immured for eons in free at last, the primal Bahamut laid waste to the Garden of Lat, burning Eorzeans and Garleans alike. But I will find a way. Tearing her gaze away from the bloody churn, he bit down gently on her tongue, an old commander's trick, and despite the ash-laden air, the voice that issued from her throat was clear as compass wind. Delay the previous orders. All Maelstrom units are commanded to fall back, effective immediately. In the distance, the Admiral caught a glimpse of Archon's Louisois' resolute silhouette, arms raised in the rite of summoning. Not even the 12 can help us now, she thought, with something like despair, as he swung herself into the saddle. Dalamut had hatched, and no man can unbreak an egg. Give the foreign levy priority, let the main host cover the retreat and bring up the rear. Ainsar Slafferson let go of the bridle as Merlwyb took hold of the reins. A shard of the false moon had pierced the mail under his right arm. Blood riled dark and ready. Their adjutant would likely not survive a hard ride. Get these adventurers to safety, she repeated. I shall send you stragglers. We must regroup. See to it. At once, Admiral, Ainsar snapped a salute. He knows me too well to waste time arguing, Merlwyb reflected as he urged her faithful bird to gallop. And he knows most of our runners are dead, or near as damn it. A sharp queer brought her back to the presence. Good girl, Wiki, she murmured, as the chocobo sped onward through a blur of death and ruin. Fall back to the main host, Merlwyb called again and again, until the route became a stream, then a river, flowing towards Ainsar, and she hoped safety. But there was a knot in the crowd, fighting his way against the tide until it emerged at the rear and pushing onwards towards the Garlean position. Always, Merlwyb thought without rancor, as he spurred her chocobo forward. Always there are those who put glory before victory. Save your breath, Admiral. I mean to make those Garleans cur pay, and pay they will. Roswin spat, and Merlwyb was reminded of the old saying, pirates weep with their sword, and their tears run red. So many sirens. Bleeny April won't sing no more, nor Anna's black eye, nor... there you are, ye liverless tin-pot bastard. A savage joy blazed in Roswin's eyes at the sight of something behind Merlwyb, and then the Maelstrom commander touched her spurs to Victory's left flank as he unholstered her pistol in one smooth motion. Death penalty barked, and the Garlean's legionnaire tumbled backwards. 2 sharp coughs from Annihilator, and more men fell to reveal the beetle-black gleam of Magitech armor cresting their eyes. It has a beak, Merlwyb thought, with a strange calm, her legs squeezing Victory's flank of their own accord. The chocobo sprang as the Magitech cannon roared. Then Merlwyb was falling, the world drowning in blood and feathers, and she knew no more. The most rest you've had in years, Salvager. Merlwyb woke to a familiar sight, her quarters on the Triumph, and Ainsar, his face graven with fatigue, but alive and on his feet. How long? He demanded. Present course and speed. 2 days, Limsa, 8 knots, he answered. The Alliance regrouped in Thanalan, where the alchemists saw to her hurt. They meant to keep you abed in Ul'dah, but I assured them that would not be necessary. We are crossing the Strait of Melthor for home. The sirens, Rosven? Ainsar laughed. Merlwyb could almost hear the rust in it. Command, especially the command of retreating forces, was a somber business. The bloody executioners hold you from the front lines like pullers with bulging nets. but they had no luck coaxing Captain Rosven to join the retreat. Then came to the last of the dread pirates' crew 3, the Kraken arms, and Carvalane swept her up onto a saddle like a bloody knight of Isgard. Lesta saw they were trading curses. Good, Merlwyb willed her eyes to stay open. He was suddenly very tired and could not bring to mind the names of the others who had been present. No matter, Ainsar would know. The retreat from Cartano. I ordered the unit to be given priority. Did you get them to safety? Ainsar looked at her, his brow furrowed. Beg pardon, Admiral. My orders were to bring up the rear as the main host retreated. Gather any stragglers you directed towards us, then begin regrouping. You did not order that any be given priority over another. The coming days were too full for Merlwyb or Ainsar to fret overmuch about that odd lapse. She had taken a blow to the head after all, and it was a trifle compared to what awaited them in Wilbrand. As the triumph neared home, they saw livid crystal bursting from Faroe Sirius, blunting their corruption for all to see. Galadian Bay was floating Cartanu, the sea strewn with bodies, debris, and hollowed-eyed survivors of the tidal wave that had scoured the coastline. Ainsar was lucky, Merlwyb thought, as he surveyed the destruction. What size these shards to make an 8 hell of this fair anchorage? And what of we who have been spared? How can we go on when so much has been lost? I will find a way. Merlwyb ordered that the Maelstrom temporary command be established at the Moraby dry docks. Sheltered from the worst of the great wave by the god's grip. From there, the remains of Limsal Mensa's great armada sailed with food and supplies, aid and succor, women of strength and men of compassion, and Admiral Merlwyb slept little, but once he did, it was always one of 2 dreams that she dreamt. In one, she bit down on her tongue and called out, "Give them priority, let the main host cover their retreat." In other, she rode the destrier in the cool night, the bird crooning contently, and the rider murmuring, "Good girl, Vicky." Time passed, some wounds healed, others did not. The fishing boats returned to the sea, and the merchants stowed doors and cutpurses to the docks. The new Maelstrom command took shape on the upper deck, the ship of the Armada returned to the proper anchorage, and the Moraby dry docks were recommissioned as a shipyard. During these turbulent days, those who knew Merlwyb best, and they were not many, remarked that she had been changed by Cartano. To the scores that came to the Admiral for help, she gave no false comfort, but neither was she as hard as she once had been. She spoke instead of hope, courage, and the lost warriors who stood with the Archon on the Cartano Flat. For this, Merlwyb won the love of her people, yet struggled to accept it. So unsettling did the thought seem to her, that one night, unable to sleep, she wandered the city, finding herself at length outside of an Isgardian stable as a young bird murmured drowsily within. When Naldic and Vimelis began work on the Thalocracy's new warship, there was no question as to whom the honor of naming it would go. One fine day soon after, half of the city turned out to see the victory's key laid. When the Admiral of Limsal Mensa inscribed her name upon the oak with great flourish, the cheers rolled like thunder across the tranquil water of the Galadian Bay, and set the gulls and ravens flapping from every mast. Thank you so much for listening to the story. I hope you found it enjoyable. It would mean a lot to me if you could give this video a like, maybe even a share. And if you want to make sure to see all my future content, subscribe and press the notification bell. But for now, whatever you do, I hope you have a lovely day.